I grew up in West Texas. My father was a lineman for public utilities, so I had a lot of good experiences watching him, especially on storms, climb poles late at night. But I grew up in Lubbock, Plainview, Sudan, Central Texas, Chillicothe. My folks always took a 2-week vacation to the mountains, and so trout fishing and hiking were the best things for me as a kid in that 2 weeks. And then, of course, around West Texas, it's hard to get close to water, but often on a ranch or a farm someplace, if we knew friends or people, we would gather, ride horses, or explore the area. And when I was 10 years old, I went to my father's parents. They had a farm in Oklahoma and raised chickens, and so I would work with them. And they also employed a young woman who was African American. And of course, whatever we did, we worked together, we ate together. And when I returned home after that experience when I was 10, I mentioned that at the Sunday dinner table with all our relatives, my mother's relatives gathered. They were all extremely prejudiced for the most part. There was a real awful silence when I mentioned my experience with the young black woman. And so it was uncomfortable, and I got up and walked out. We were at a farm, and my father followed me out. I didn't realize he had. Out near the barn, I felt him, and he put his hand on my shoulder, and he said, "Son, we don't all believe the same, but you can trust what you believe." And that's probably a defining moment for faith for me. My wife and I met after her first year in college at McMurray. She came to my home church to be the youth director. I was 2 years older, I was at Tech, and so we met then. Her father was a Methodist preacher, and so I got a first acquaintance with what that life was like, and it was wonderful.
He had a serious nature, even though at that time he was in a fraternity. And but he found something that was deeper and more meaningful.
When I was pastor here at St. John's, I began to get these referrals from especially psychologists. They would want somebody who was gay or lesbian at first to be able to talk to a pastor who wasn't condemnatory. And it was just astounding to me, the quality of the people who came.
Always when you're in social issues, then you must always weigh everything. None of us are God. And the person I fear the most is the one that says, "I'm certain this is the truth. I'm certain this is right. It's absolutely this way." That's a person to fear. In each of these issues, we would definitely feel this was a faith journey for us.
In June of 2014, I began to experience really severe pain. I have spent a good bit of my life backpacking and taking groups hiking in the Pecos Wilderness, and it was so bad I couldn't do that.
And this pain kept increasing in his leg. Finally, in September, with much urging from his wife, that he would go see the doctor, and the doctor then found out the cancer had metastasized in his pelvis and down his right hip and down his right leg.
I know that after you're 80, some research shows that people tend to spend more in the last 6 months of their 80 years, or once they're 80, than they spent their entire life before, keeping alive for a few months. And that can be a huge expense. So I will not take community resources to give me some more time. A thing I drew as my own conclusion, I have no research to prove this, but when a death comes for you, if you don't take that one, and medical folks and science can put off a death a good bit of time, if you don't take the one that comes for you, a worse one must get you. We all die. So if this is my death to die, I intend to die it. She's a little old lady now, but just very beautiful. And thankfully, I was attracted to her beauty, and so that's only grown. We've been married 55 years. And now that I'm dying and we get to talk about it, we're closer than we've ever been. And life is more beautiful.
We have been lovers, and it's been wonderful because we love each other and just, we like to be together and we like to talk together.
Death, we fear it because in our lives we build up the kind of things we think will save us. Surely if I have enough money, if I have a pretty enough wife, if my kids are good, if I have prestige, if I have power, then I'll be all right. Death takes every bit of that away. It removes everything. So all of a sudden, I'm left exposed. I'm either in the hands of a vast, empty nothingness, or I'm in the hands of God.
And they called me and said, "Teddy, he's breathing very shallow. I think you need to come hurry." And I understood that. But he was definitely dying. He was already getting yellow. And bless his heart, one of the nurses, Robert, was down on his knees praying that I get there before he died. Went right by his bed, and of course I was in grief, big time. As I was holding him, I looked up to see the sun was coming up. And I thought, how perfect. Sunday morning, and the sun's coming up. I know. And he died.
I think the meaning of life is given to us. It's not anything I have to make or conjure up or try to create. So what meaning there is in life is given to me, and my job is to listen very carefully, to be open to it, to follow it, to try to catch a glimpse of where it's carrying me. So meaning of life means I'm given a gift. I'm not a Christian. I'm doing my best to be one. And as I understand Christians, we live in a sea of grace. So death itself is insignificant. We die into grace. And so how can you put that much significance on a little thing like death?